Alright, in this video, I'm going to be telling you what my greatest accomplishment in Pokemon GO was over the past year, and how you can achieve it yourself. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon GO video. Alright, so I'm going to be walking this route and also popping a daily adventure incense. And let's see what I end up getting. But in the meantime, I'm going to be talking about what my greatest accomplishment was in the year 2023 and how you could do it yourself. I have to tell you, this was extremely difficult, but I was able to pull it off. And if you are able to pull it off, you're going to get yourself a bunch of super rare shinies, an absolute ton of Stardust, as well as some bragging rights because, yeah, this is extremely difficult. So I'm actually going to be walking this route right here. This is the Birchwood Nature Walk, and guess who the author of this particular route is? That's right, it's yours truly. So I've actually never actually walked this route since I created it, so let's see if it's actually a good route. But here we go, let's start off. I actually already have a daily adventure incense running, so maybe we'll get some really good spawns along the way. But yeah, at least the Zygarde cell would be really cool. So what is this big accomplishment that I did over the past year? Well, for the last, I want to say 60 weeks straight, I've been hatching 12 kilometer eggs at least once a week. Yeah, that is absolutely massive. So the thing is with 12 kilometer eggs, they are extremely difficult to get. To hatch that many 12 kilometer eggs, it's going to require a lot of dedication. Like, you will need to do an insane amount of grunt battles, and you will need to have a good amount of Pokemon in order to defeat the Team Go Rocket leaders. But if you can pull it off, you can get yourself a ton of Stardust, about, I want to say about 80,000 Stardust off of a star piece. And yeah, it's also produced a lot of super rare shinies and a bunch of super rare Pokemon as well. So yeah, it's extremely rewarding if you can pull it off. But like I said, it does require a lot of dedication. Not everyone is going to be able to do it. But if you want to dedicate yourself to a really hard goal in the year 2024, then I highly suggest you try to get 12 kilometer eggs hatched every single week for this year. So how was I able to pull this off? Well, first and foremost, doing a lot of grunt battles is absolutely necessary, and you really have to start off your week by not getting any eggs. So typically on Monday is when I hatch all 12 kilometer eggs, and after I hatch them, I forego spinning any Pokestops for that day because I don't want to collect new eggs. Ideally, what you will want to do is collect 1 to 2 12 kilometer eggs daily. That means you will want to do every single grunt battle that you see, as well as doing every single Team Go Rocket balloon encounter that you come across. That means you will want to make sure you logging in at least once every 6 hours, because that is when the Team Go Rocket balloons spawn. In case you weren't aware, Team Go Rocket balloons spawn in every 6 hours starting at midnight. So if you log in at midnight, you're going to see a Team Go Rocket balloon. If you log in after 6 a.m., you're going to see a Team Go Rocket balloon. And if you have yourself a Rocket Radar, then it's going to give you a Team Go Rocket leader battle. So you could plan it out where you could end up with a 12 kilometer egg at lunch or at 6 o'clock after work, as long as you have enough fragments to get yourself a Rocket Radar before that balloon spawns. That's one of the ways that I was able to pick up a bunch of 12 kilometer eggs. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you have a Super Rocket Radar, you can equip it to come across decoy grunts. Obviously, you will want to do these because they will give you mysterious components, which will go towards those Rocket Radars, which you could use to defeat Team Go Rocket leader battles, which will grant you a 12 kilometer egg. It's going to be really all about farming up those mysterious components and making sure you have egg slots available. So if you have a bunch of eggs that need to be hatched, you should get walking right away. And again, forego spinning Pokestops, because that way you do not have a bunch of useless eggs in your egg slots, and you have space for all those 12 kilometer eggs that you're going to be getting. Now, something to keep in mind is that if you live in a rural area or a low population area that doesn't have a lot of Pokestops, this is going to be kind of unrealistic, right? Because you do need to come across a lot of grunt battles. And in order to do that, there needs to be a lot of Pokestops around you. So I highly suggest that you take a visit to a downtown of a particular town because they typically have a high cluster of Pokestops, and try to get as many grunt battles done as you can. Something that I've been doing is taking my lunch breaks to downtowns of small towns because there's a lot of Pokestops there, and I try to get as many grunt battles as I can right before it hits 12 noon. So I get about 12 mysterious components within about an hour, and that leads to the 2 12-kilometer eggs that I need to get for that day. Really, you only need to get 2 12-kilometer eggs every single day, and that's going to be enough for you to hatch 12 12-kilometer eggs every single week. And then what you could do is put on a star piece right before they all hatch, and what I like to do is have them hatch right around the time that I would collect the Adventure Sync rewards of that week. And yeah, that ends up producing a ton of Stardust off of 1 star piece. All right, we're coming to the end of this route, and yeah, I think this was a big mistake. It is absolutely freezing outside. I'm not able to think straight, but yeah, all in all, basically 12 12-kilometer eggs every single week. If you're able to do it, you're going to get yourself a ton of Stardust. You're going to get a bunch of Shinies. In order to pull it off, you're going to need to do a ton of walking in order to hatch all the eggs that are not 12-kilometer eggs, and you also need to do a ton of grunt battles every single day. But if you can pull it off, the rewards are substantial. Like I said earlier, you can get yourself about 200 to 250,000 Stardust if you line it up with your weekly Adventure Sync rewards. And yeah, I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of walking anyway, so the Adventure Sync rewards are going to be much higher than usual. So that's something you should keep in mind. But yeah, so cold. Niantic, why do you have so many of these outdoor features when it is freezing outside? But yeah, thank you so much for making it to this point in the video. If you ended up enjoying this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that little bell. And also, I want to give a shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, go and check out the links in the description below. And also, if you want to support my channel, you could always do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the following platforms on this corner. All right, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.